Hello everyone and welcome back to Terra Invicta. So last time, after a lot of back and forth, we've managed to pretty much seize control of the entirety of America. We have all but one of the slots, and we've got executive control, meaning that we have control of just about everything except for one army, and that's currently controlled by the initiative. We'll see if we can get them out of there, but otherwise that's a really good situation to be in. There is of course a downside that we are now just stupidly over our cap, which means that we may need to cut back, purposefully leave some other areas, kind of pull out of these areas and double down on the United States. Other places though, we have started construction of our first mining base on the moon, and we've identified some really interesting looking sites on Mars. We do need a little bit more boost to get there, but we are now really pouring in with the boost. We're getting 4 a month, and so in a little over a month we should be able to send some missions off to start exploiting Mars. Otherwise, last time we did set our goals are to resist the alien invasion. Really, we want things to go back to the way they were before. We don't want to see any massive social change. We don't want everybody to turn violently xenophobic. We don't want people to embrace some kind of mega corporation. We don't want to give in to the aliens' demands. We just want Earth left alone. We want them off of Earth, and we're going to do everything we can to that end, which at this stage is mostly involving trying to build up our space presence so that we can actually start intercepting these bloody ships they keep sending to us, and also fighting against the servants who are spreading all over the world, especially in Asia, where they're really dominating China. Until recently they were dominating India as well. Anyway, with our focus now shifting well away from Europe, let's continue. Advanced Neural Networks has been completed by the Academy. They're now working on augmented reality. Okay, we're getting crackdowns in India. That's really not surprising. I'm not going to keep battling over India at this point. If the servants are going to take that, they're going to take it. I need to focus on America. Okay, Uzbekistan has been swallowed up by Russia. Okay, I've got another little slot here for extra research, so I'm just going to split my research a little further, so doing corridor diplomacy at the same time, so it's delaying alien movements by a little bit, not too much. So I'm going to pull back a bit on the international projects. Looks like I'm going to be losing this slot, so I'm not going to fight as heavily for it, but I really want to get these two done quickly, so this is meaning by the start of May I should have these two techs done.
Heading to the LZ.
Alright, Ryachi is taking one brief turn away from doing what he was with stabilizing America. He's going to try and take out some aliens. Hopefully that won't come back to bite me. Over on Mars we've got enough to put down one of our sites. And I really like this one. Arabia Terra. Doesn't have a lot of water for Mars, but that's okay, we are going to be mining water from the moon. We need sources of these other resources, and this has a little bit of everything. It actually has quite a lot of the, I think they're volatiles. Yep, has a trickle of the base materials, noble metals, and a fair chunk of fissiles. So I think that's a really, really useful one to go for. This kind of covers all of our bases, gets some things going really cheap in terms of its cost. And we could always follow it up with something like another one on Olympus Mons, which has a huge amount of both the base and noble metals. This is the Terra Arabia mining base. We need to save up 60 boost to be able to send out a mine here, and then 4 boost on top of that to send out the solar collector. It's going to take us a while, but we're certainly moving in the right direction. So we can now send probes to the asteroid belt and construct things there. We've got mission to the asteroids. Academy is now doing high energy electrothermal propulsion. I might shift focus here. We don't have the hugest boost for the sociology one. We've got a really big one for energy, so we may be able to seize control of this global research node.
Order is returning.
Whoa. Hang on. What the hell is going on here? I think something may have crash landed on
LZ is secure.
Paris. Yeah, we've lost a control point in Greece, that's fine. I'm quite happy losing points around Greece. Well, we've also lost one in India again. It's not ideal, but we need to stabilize our influence income. Yeah, being kicked completely out of India at this point. But we're starting to bring our control points under control, so it's not the end of the world. Nice, that's our mining outpost up and running on the moon. So we're now getting a bit of an income of water and base metals. Okay, humanity first has managed to patch Ethiopia and Tigray back together. I think just because of how valuable it is, I'm going to claim the Olympus Mons site. So it's going to set back our saving up for other resources for a little bit, but I think it's going to be really useful to have that. It has just a huge amount of noble metals that we can grab. Greece has its own spaceflight program now. We are actually slowly getting in influence again. Gonna give Dankin Du another admin slot. That means she can now fit in the 3 tiered ones if we can actually get one of them. Gonna give Rachi another espionage point because he does quite a lot of espionage missions. Kokomo is gonna increase science. Okay, we lost our executive control point in Poland, the initiative. We have nicely stabilized the United States of America. It's now peaceful, starting to get less fragmented. Okay, so there's panic in the United States. If we let it run its course, it's going to really increase unrest, which I've been really fighting to get back down. Or I can deploy our forces. I'm going to deploy the forces. Changes the democracy score by a little bit, but probably worth it. Okay, Portugal's joined the EU superbloc. China's declared war on Canada. Okay, we've got augmented reality research done. Initiative is now doing industrialization of space. Okay, I'm going to send a fission pile to Terra Arabia base. The solar panels really start not to work very well there, so it's a little more expensive, but not too bad. Yeah, so I'm going to build that on Earth. That's going to be 5 points. I actually have mined enough resources now to be able to build a xenology lab on the moon out of space resources. Use a 0.99 boost instead of everything else, but that'll get that started. Get us another xenology lab. Means we've got corridor diplomacy, so that gives us some nice extra control point cap. Okay, an arrival international development has been completed by the project. They're now doing unity movements. And I'm going to start the solid core fusion reactor. Give ourselves something a bit better in terms of power generation on our ships. And start getting some ship research ready so that when we've got the resources we can actually start building reasonable ships. Oh, very useful. So we have identified that the aliens, instead of sweating liquids, they sweat gas, so they sublime basically. And that makes tracking them really easy because we can just track them on FLIR detectors, so forward-looking IR. And so we just scan for clouds of warmth moving around and we can track the aliens. So now we can get direct detection of alien operatives. I think that's going to be very useful for us. Okay, so our next objective is to, well, find an alien corpse. We don't know how they're controlling the other humans, so easiest way to make sure they can't control our operative is just to straight up kill the alien. So that's our mission, find the alien, kill the alien, but with the warning that that's probably going to trigger the next phase of the conflict. I'm going to turn around and do Xenoflora defoliants at this point. Got really big boosts still to our xenology, and I think this will help contain the aliens, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Big project, big investment, taking a little over a year, but I think that's going to be really valuable. India's joined the war against China. Sorry, with China against Canada. Okay, so we've got our solid core fission reactors. I'm going to pick up the ion drive. Very, very efficient use, and right now we really don't have any delta V to do anything, so that might make up for the fact that we've got really poor energy generation. China has arrived in Canada. Okay, we've got contact one of the Earth First people. I'm going to try and get
contact. Where to?
a alliance, or basically we shouldn't be fighting each other. Make that official. Yeah. So we want a non-aggression pact. Okay, they really don't seem to want to give me their Nerva Drive project. It's a pity, but fine. Otherwise, I think getting a non-aggression pact with them is good. Cool. Moonbase has got its new xenology lab. I'm going to send a fission pile off to the Olympus Mons base. So now I really just need to... Actually, just realised building these mining complexes in space is actually quite cheap. We just need 6.5 boost, water and base minerals, which we're getting from our moon base. So that's actually absolutely fine. We should be able to do that without too much trouble. Okay, Germany has a new Panzer army. Okay, so the initiatives are really going in hard in Europe. Since I'm getting influence again, I'm going to try cracking down in Poland, re-establish some of our control there. Okay, we've got the ion drive tech. I'm going to pick up solar steamers, so they reduce the delivery time of HAB modules launched outside of launch windows, and I've not really been paying attention to the launch windows, so it's probably going to be worthwhile. Nice, so I've seized back a place in Poland, which gives me executive control, still have positive influence. So I can take back one of our places in Greece. It's keeping an eye on the influence, but I think we can afford to get back some of the EU again, challenge the powers that are there. And I've just spotted a enemy operative, so I'm going to take a 69% chance to have them eliminated. One of the servants in America, I think they're probably trying to destabilize America. On the bright side, Canada beat back the first part of the Chinese invasion. I managed to have that servant assassinated. And we've grabbed back control of the place in Greece, still got a little bit of a positive influence coming in. It's going to start giving some of my people the hard target trait. This makes them a little harder to assassinate, and I think the war's going to get a little bit bloody on Earth as soon as I start taking out aliens. Got another 81% chance to take out another servant.
I have them in my sights. Problem solved. Permanently.
It's another servant eliminated. Hopefully going to be hurting their influence since they're going to have to be rehiring all these people. Okay, we have just completed high energy electrothermal propulsion. Can I go ahead and do arrival law? Open up some new things that we can do. Okay, so that's the last little bit in Poland taken care of. I'm going to stop expanding again now. We are once again neutral on our influence income. Okay, nice. I can build the Terra Arabia mining facility in space. 2.3 water, 18.5 base metals, not too bad at all. 6.5 extra boost, really, really nice. That will kick off a very big mining facility. Then I'm just going to save up and do the same to Olympus Mons. Got all the resources I need, I just need the boost to send up, I'm guessing like the extra bits and pieces we can't build in space, the crew and so on. Denmark's got a space program. European Union has asked Germany to join in its attack on El Salvador. Project Exodus own El Salvador. The Institute have full control over the European Union, so no, I don't really like the initiative, so they can go in on their own. Okay, so hackers have hijacked one of our payloads, so I can either lose 3, or I can pay up 2,500 with a 70% chance that I won't lose the boost, but they might just steal both, so let's hope. Okay, got control of it back, that's all fine. European Union's declaring war on the Ratnakaran states. These little people down in the Indian Ocean. No. Okay, so I'm going to invest a little bit in Unity in the United States of America with this direct investment thing, see what that is like. Cost me some money, but will hopefully increase the Unity, which will then make this more peaceful, kind of solidify my control over it. I'm just going to have a go at cracking down on the... Actually, I don't think that's worth the expense. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't try and crack that down because they immediately defended. Oh, solar steamers is done. I'm going to grab solid core fission reactor Mark II. Okay, I'm going to pick up the Foundation of Hyde at Hadir for Heijin Joe. Aliens are becoming more popular in Honduras. I'm definitely going to go check that out. Prospect, one of the asteroids that seems to have a lot of metal, since those seem to be very much needed for anything we're doing. I'm going to send a mining outpost to the Olympus Mons. I'm also just going to launch a couple of other probes. One to Hesperia, 69 Hesperia. One to Psyche. It's a bit embarrassing, I think. Yeah, El Salvador beat back the European invasion. Japan's now had to be called in. Okay, I'm going to do a tick of management research. Quite cheap now, it increases each time, it gives us an extra 5 cap, which will give us a little bit more influence, probably worth it. I'm going to start the construction of a space dock on Earthshield 1. Can build that in space, 5.2 minerals, really isn't much. Well, we've got our first direct sighting of the aliens in Poland. Okay, nice, because we got the critical success on that Investigate Council mission. This is an alien, we've got them. Or identified one of them. And so, that is what the aliens look like. So now we have the nice simple task of trying to kill that fucker. Oh dear, Canada has fallen to the Chinese. Oh, and the Protectorate grabbed one of my control points in Thailand. Fortunately, even with my best guy on it, giving him full ops, I've only got a 5% chance to succeed because this alien is really well defended. I think I'm going to need more techs or something before I can actually reasonably kill these aliens.
Ready.
Apparently I can just purge
Reporting in.
Ready for
the
orders.
Canadian sites to take
Standing by
back
for
control.
orders.
Okay, so I can spend a bunch of money to have a shot at hostile taking over some organization from the alien. Might be worthwhile. It's not huge odds, but yeah.
Targeting enemy orgs.
I'm going to launch another research platform in orbit of Earth. I've got the boost for it. I'm largely doing that because I want to put in some materials labs because I want to do more materials research. Yeah, so I can steal Proteus systems. So they're no fancy organizations, but I can steal something from these guys. Nice. Anything to hurt the aliens is good. Because I completed one purge mission in Canada, but Project Exodus got the other slot. It's fine. Cool, we now have a space dock in orbit of Earth. So to get resources, we can actually start putting out some ships. In terms of our current one, we'd need a hell of a lot more, particularly water and volatiles. Okay, new alien fleet is in low Earth orbit. This is another large battle fleet. Well, a very heavily defended single ship, but yeah. We'll manage to nick another thing off the aliens. Just trying to
Public
deny
opinion
them
is moving in our
their
direction.
organizations more than anything. Okay, so the sun's let out a very large solar flare. We can't really do anything, so our mission control income will be 50%. Which is fine because we're not maxing out on that. Okay, we've got executive control over Canada. We are going to start bleeding influence off again. Okay, so our new station is finished and it's got its 2 materials bays. Can I move some things around? Could move the Athenia projects off of Kokomo. This place put the Panavis Foundation. Instead put Athenia projects on Dankin Du. Yeah, I've lost sight of that alien, but we need to do something to upgrade our systems before we can really go for those guys. Well, there we go, our first Martian base has arrived. Terra Arabia. It was a big bonus to, well, one-off bonus to research and influence. Got management research done, that increases our cap a little bit, so we're bleeding less influence. I'm going to do the research for molten salt batteries, since we now do have some materials research, and I think we really need to get a little bit of that in. A lot of the military tech seem to be materials research focused. Otherwise, I think that's probably a pretty good place to leave that for today. We have done a hell of a lot. So we've established ourselves on Mars, getting 2 bases on the way. By August, they'll both be mining, so that'll give us our resources that we need. We've established the Moon's mining base, so we're getting enough resources to be, again, using less boost. We've got huge amounts of boost, so the space game is really starting to kick off here. I think we just need to keep investing, try and get as many mining points as we can, so we got a good income coming in, because we need to start building some ships at some point, taking on these aliens. And we did manage to see an alien, found that it was an alien that we had no hope in hell of killing, but we found one. So yeah, all is starting to come together. We have control of America, and we managed to undo the Chinese invasion of Canada just by politically replacing the puppets they put in charge with their own puppets. So yeah, really enjoying this. If you are, please do leave a like or a comment, let me know. I'm more than happy to continue doing this series, see where this goes, see what the aliens are up to. And either way, I hope I catch you in the next video. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and everyone else. Cheers.